The entertainment industry has had a history of discriminating against women and homosexuals. And even in the 90s, it hasn't changed as much as it should. If today's climate continues to be homophobic and sexist, then imagine 1973, with the gay and lesbian and women's movements still in their infancy, how impossible it must have seemed for women, and certainly for lesbians, to establish a professional presence in the world of music. For 10 very young and courageous women, with little money and a big dream, impossible was unthinkable, and Olivia Records was born, an independent label featuring women musicians, employing women engineers and producers, and distributed by women entrepreneurs. 21 years later, Olivia Records continues to thrive and has grown into Olivia Records and Travel. Welcome to Forward and Out. I'm your host, Eileen Karn, and on this edition we welcome one of Olivia's New York representatives, Jeanie Rule. Hello, Jeanie.
Hi, Eileen.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
So what happened back in 1973 that it all got started?
Well, there was a performer going around to different clubs named Cris Williamson, who was, after making one album, having a hard time getting her work out, getting another album made. And she was going around to record companies, and people were saying to her, well, we have one, meaning we have already a woman. We already have a Judy Collins type, you know, and so forth. One. So she was speaking to Meg Christian on a radio show in Washington, D.C., and just offhand said, why don't you start a national record company for women, where you can employ women to do producing and engineering and, of course, artists. And they thought that was the most fabulous idea they had ever heard. And, of course, Cris left town, and the women got together, all friends, in Washington, D.C., and said, this is a fabulous idea.
Did they all pool their money in? Everybody put in some money?
They pooled their money. They got some loans.
Original resources.
They didn't know, I think, how high the mountain was they were about to ascend. And if they had known, they probably would have just shuddered and not done it. So ignorance is bliss, and it's also, it has led us to this day, which is just a marvelous celebration of Olivia going into its 21st year. In those days, they had no idea what they were going to do, and they called Cris and they said, you know, you had a great idea, and we're going to do it. And Cris goes, oh, okay, oh yeah, okay. You know, count me in.
Yeah, what were some of the women that were first on the label?
Meg Christian.
Meg Christian.
Meg made the first album for Olivia, I Know You Know. And they thought at that time, the women of Olivia, Judy DeLugatch and the crew, that maybe they would sell a few albums and it would take a few months. And well, there was such a need. And it was so wonderful to hear women's voices singing about women's issues.
The love songs, the sisterhood songs, the together songs.
It just took off. And so when they were ready to produce The Changer and the Change, Cris Williamson's first album for Olivia, it just went through the roof and continues really to be Olivia's
That's one of
major
their strongest sellers. Yes. I see. Who else was in the early days? Holly Near had a brief stint with Olivia.
Yes. They had gathered their forces with Margie Adams.
Great singer and
great pianist also. Yes. Cris Williamson, Meg Christian, and Holly Near went on tour, a tour called Women on Wheels, and they just brought their music to everywhere, and pretty soon their audiences were growing and growing and growing until they were just selling out and just doing wonderfully.
Yeah. And then there was sort of a second wave of women artists, Deirdre McCullough, Lucy Booth Tremblay.
Tret Fury.
Tret Fury came along.
Yes.
And then I remembered some of the earlier artists as well. Teresa Troll.
Oh, yes. Teresa still is very active in
the organization.
And will soon be having a new album.
Right. When you think about it, Olivia really paved the way for a whole visibility for women in music.
Absolutely.
And we have, you know, Katie Lang and Melissa Etheridge and other people coming out now, but Olivia made a big contribution in allowing women's music to have a real forum.
Absolutely. Olivia is our pioneer for mothers, and still, you know, to me, they're heroes. They went way out on a limb exposing themselves as out lesbians, performers, artists, capable women, engineers, producers. They just made other people look and say, gee, this is possible. Oh, I can do this. You know, they gave people hope, and they gave the audience a sense that they weren't alone, that there were other people feeling, women feeling the things that they felt. And just a joy in knowing that there were professional, wonderful artists speaking.
Yeah. Even among the homosexual movement, you know, men haven't really had their own music like women have.
No, that's
So I think
true.
that's another contribution that Olivia made, was to really giving voice to women's emotions and feelings in song.
And it's also been uplifting to a lot of men too. They've
really? Tell me about
told
that.
me that they just think it's just wonderful, and they've gone to many of the concerts to be with their sisters and to see women, gay women, out and proud and having this forum and way to express themselves and to be united and to be part of just the feeling, the sisterhood feeling, you know, the humanhood feeling. You know.
Right, yes. Has Olivia been successful then in the terms of a business, would you say? That the record sales and the productions have all made for a viable business?
There have been some tough times, no doubt about it, especially in the 80s. It was difficult. But I think that, as with anything, you go through cycles and you go through better times. And of course, things have gone considerably better now in recent years.
Yeah. Olivia artists have always been a big part of the concert scene, I guess, you know, way back to the 70s. We all remember going to our women's music festivals and, you know, hearing Cris or hearing Meg. I remember hearing Teresa. We had New England Women's Music Festival up in Connecticut.
Yeah.
It was great. And independent from that, where the artists appear, there's also been occasions for Olivia itself to produce concerts. Is that right?
I think that some of the most historic moments in women's music have been produced by Olivia Records. The Carnegie Hall concert that celebrated Olivia's 10th anniversary was a milestone, the first time openly gay women were performing at Carnegie Hall, and it was a thrilling concert. Women came from all over the United States to participate, you know, and it was a gala occasion.
We have a clip of one of the concerts. This was the 1990 Berkeley Concert.
Yes.
Is that right, in California?
The celebration of The Changer and the Change, the 15th anniversary
of Chris's famous album. Right, okay.
It was a wonderful experience. It united women, reminded them of where they had been and where they are going, and how far we do still have to go.
Right. I know our viewers are going to enjoy the clip because there's some historic stills and everything.
Oh, that's great.
So we'll go to that now. Okay.
Born of the earth, child of God, just one among family, and you can count on me to share the load, and I will always help you hold your burden, and I will be the one to help you ease your pain. Lean on me, I am your sister. Believe on me, I am your friend. Lean on me, I am your sister. Believe on me, I am your friend. I will fold you in my arms like a white-winged dove. Shine in your soul, your spirit is crying. Born of the earth,
Oh, she's wonderful.
It's great.
That's great.
It's a wonderful song.
Yeah. How did Olivia, the name for the record company, come about?
The name is from a novella written by Dorothy Strachey under the name Olivia. So it says Olivia by Olivia. And actually, it was a book that was released in 1949. At about the same time, we were seeing these drugstore novels about forbidden love and Odd Girl Out and all that. And it was the only novel that one of the founders of Olivia read at that time that was really positive and that touched her deeply, and it's very emotional. The character Olivia was thrilled and was made life positive by her experience and her passion for an older woman.
Ah,
so they said, yes, that's what we have to be, life-affirming and passionate.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, Cris is in concert coming up in May of this year.
Yes, Cris Williamson and Tret Fury have just released a new album called Postcards from Paradise, and they are going to be appearing in May the 21st at Town Hall in New York City.
Right.
So we invite everybody to be sure to mark that on your calendar and come and see them.
Great. Yeah. You get to hear their new songs that they've done together.
Yes, of course, and favorites and whatever. It's going to be great.
Great, yeah. Now, Olivia has expanded beyond the record business into travel.
Yes.
And that came about for certain reasons, too, right? That was another need seen and answered.
Absolutely. Judy was at a concert, and a friend said to her, "Oh, this is so great. Wouldn't it be fabulous if we were out on the water?" And the light went on in Judy DeLugatch's head, and she said, "Gee, what do I have to do to get a ship? Let's see about it." So she did. And the most amazing thing was that you need a great deal of money up front in order to get the ship. So Judy contacted her mailing list and said, "We had this wonderful idea and we think you'll love it. We want to do a vacation to the Bahamas, to the Caribbean, and if you will send me money right away and pay for your passage right away, this is a full year.
In advance.
In advance, a full year in advance. We can do it." And 600 women sent their money immediately, and they booked the ship, and that was how Olivia Travel began, Olivia Cruises.
And of course, a big feature of it was that the Olivia artists were going to be on board performing.
Yes. A big feature of it, and the main point of it, is that we can go out on a ship, and it becomes a place of safe haven. It becomes a place where you become who you are every minute of the day, all day long, having fun, doing nothing if that's what you wish to do, or joining in with hundreds and hundreds of women from all over the country, and sometimes from all over the world, Australia, Europe, and just being yourself. You don't realize sometimes how heavy we bear this oppression. We get through, we go by, and we do it. But
the sense of freedom and being in your own world must be wonderful.
It is.
How do they get the cooperation of the cruise ships and the crew? I know that they're not going to get an all-women crew to run a huge cruise ship.
No, that's true. The crew is given the option. They are told, there's a briefing, they understand who's coming on the ship, why we're coming on the ship, and what's expected of them. And they are given the option of not going on this particular cruise. Now they look forward to it.
Really?
They love us. The crew, especially on our dear ship, the Dolphin 4, looks forward very, very much because they know we're fun, they know they're going to have a good time that week, and the women especially on the crew look forward to it because they know that this week they are going to take a step forward. They are going to be in charge of the activities more than they are usually when the regular passengers come on board. So everyone seems to fall into a new line, and they find that it's a new experience. They have to rethink their stereotypes, and things change when Olivia sets sail and when Olivia arrives in a new port. Things change, not only for the passengers, but for the people on shore that are encountered, and of course the crew.
Right. Have you had different destinations or locations where, you know, it's been okay to go or not okay to go, depending on how the town or the island is?
It's basically
Have you run into that?
It's basically wonderful experiences everywhere.
Oh, good.
If we find that a place is not gay friendly, we don't go. So that's easy.
That's easy to clear up and no problem.
But what we do is, or what Babs Daitch of the Olivia Travel does, is go into the ports beforehand, makes connections with many of the women's communities and the business people in town, and says, we are coming. Would you like to see us? And if you would, just put this sign that says, welcome women of Olivia, and we'll know that this is a friendly store, and we're definitely going to go into this store.
Great.
Or stop by this particular hotel or restaurant or whatever, and it makes a big difference, and it helps not only us, it helps the local people.
Right. Yeah. Now, in addition to the cruises, there's now resort packages that are available.
Yes.
Which I guess opens up a whole new choice for women.
It definitely does. You know, some people think that if they go on a cruise, they may not enjoy it. They may have motion sickness, but well, I could speak about that for days, because I had that problem too. I was afraid the first time I went on a cruise, and I have to tell you, it is worth it. And there are things to do that are just very simple that just
that
avoid
really
that whole issue. But to be on the sea and to be free and to be it's just great. So what Olivia has decided to do is to find resorts, and through Club Med have found two wonderful places. One's at Sonora Bay and one at Playa Blanca. Both are in Mexico. And they are sites which are very beautiful, full of different wonderful activities that you can participate in, but they are not, they are remote. So that we can have the security and the isolation,
that you need.
So that we can just relax and be ourselves and have a great time.
Good. We have actually a clip that our viewers are going to love of the, I think it's the Mexican Riviera. Great. Is that right? Which is the Yucatan Peninsula. It's sort of the Cozumel, Cancun area.
Oh yeah, that's the Yucatan. The Riviera is on the west coast, but the Yucatan is on the east.
Okay, so what we're going to be seeing
from the Caribbean.
Okay. So what we're going to be seeing is the west coast.
The west coast, of
Mexico.
Right. The Riviera.
And a little clip. Great. Right. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks fabulous. I'm all ready to sign up.
All right.
Let's go.
That's it. We have to.
What about the artists that we're on now that people can see on the cruises?
We have a wonderful roster of people who go on the cruises and have been on in the past. When we went to Alaska, Betty, a New York group, came with us. Roxana Ward is a wonderful lounge performer from California. Nicholas Glover and Ray from California started in New York. They're wonderful. Lisa Gray, who was the cable car winner in San Francisco, has been one of the cabaret performers. Aside from Chris and Tret, Lucy Blue, Deirdre McCullough, Marga Gomez, one of our comedians, Karen Williams, Suzanne Westenhofer, Sarah Citron. I mean, it just goes on and on. Just
really gotten all the top names.
Yes.
And a lot of talent.
Constant talent, constant fun, and I just can't tell you, I cannot praise it enough. It's great time.
Alaska has been one of the destinations also,
yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it's one of the most popular trips.
It's done in the summer, I assume.
Yes, in June. No, let's go now. Yes, it's done in the last trip we did was in June. And that was a wonderful trip. And as always, when Olivia goes into the ports, they make contact with local people, and they did that especially in Alaska. Women in Alaska waited a year for our trip to arrive. And
no kidding.
Yes,
so they were there to greet
they were
ship?
at the dock to greet us in Juneau when we arrived, and they had made arrangements to take us. In each port that we had gone to, women were waiting for us to especially take us in small groups around to see the sights, just themselves. They wanted to be with us.
Wonderful.
And of course, we would have a little fiesta or a party or something like that wherever we were. In Mexico, we had women walk 2 days from the Sierra Madre Mountains. Native women brought their wonderful beadwork for us to show, and we made a fiesta with them. And that's the wonderful thing about traveling with Olivia.
So much to do, so much to see.
Yes, and you make contacts with the community of lesbian and feminist women all over wherever we go.
Well, thanks for being here, Jeanie.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Okay, we look forward to seeing you on board.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Thanks for watching Forward and Out. Please send your comments to us at Forward and Out, care of The Loft, P.O. Box 1513, White Plains, New York, 10602, or call the Loft helpline at 914-948-4922. The helpline can give you information about getting in touch with Olivia if you're interested in their music, concerts, or travel packages. You can also ask a helpline volunteer about becoming a member of the Loft. Please support your Gay and Lesbian Community Services Center. It supports you. Stay tuned for the Loft's Community Bulletin Board directly following the closing credits of the show. Thanks. And until next time, be proud.